Everybody good? You solid?
Yeah.
All right, bet that. Welcome to the InnerChild Podcast, where we have authentic conversations about childhood growth and passions. I'm your boy OD. This is my guy JB. JB Ski. You feel me? Today's guest, man, it's a good partner of mine. I got to give him that Club Shay Shay intro. You know what I'm saying? I want to take the time to highlight his work. He's a stylist, creative director, and a certified real dripper, right? Stamped by OD. Editorial, red carpet, performances, appearances, campaigns, creative projects, music videos, fashion show, just about every lane you could think of, he's killed it in, man. Worked with some of the names of Lola Brooke, Ari Fletcher, Murder Beat, Justine Sky, Moneybag Yo, Honey Baby, Aaliyah J, Black Sheriff, Lil Pump, my favorite, the Claremont Twins, and the list keeps going, man. And the child people, we got Visionary Bash in the building, Sebastien Day.
Thank you guys for having me.
I appreciate you for coming on for sure.
What's up, bro? How you doing today,
I'm
man?
good.
You
How
good?
are you? Yeah.
Nah,
Happy
man.
New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too, bro. Look, man, appreciate you for, coming through, showing love on the pod, bro. Real quick, how I met him. I don't know if I ever told you the story. So I'm out in Soho, nearby. I'm shooting some content, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm by myself. You know how I go. I'm a one-man band, got the tripod up with the iPhone set up. I'm shooting some content, and I see somebody drive by in a white SUV, right? And they start saying, yes, I love that look. And I'm like, man, appreciate it, right? I don't know what happened. 30 seconds later, buddy comes swing back around, and he said, hey, yo, what's your Instagram? So, I'm like, call me _OD, right? So he ended up following me. I didn't really look at his page. I just followed him back. And it's not until the very next day I go to CultureCon. And I'm on the main stage, just hearing some panel discussions. And out of nowhere I hear oh my God, call me OD. And I look at who it is.
Yo.
And I'm like, oh shit, it's Bash. You feel me?
Yeah.
But ever since then, it's been nothing but love, bro. He's really like that, bro. When I tell you certified real dripper, as Bash, man. So appreciate you coming on the show for real, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
That's funny because you really remember that to a T.
Yeah, for sure. That's literally what happened. I just man, it's cool, bro. And then he been good energy since, man. That's why I appreciate him so much, man. But we got to open up the show with an icebreaker. We call this one drip check, right? We done talked about this already, Bash. You feel me? I tell you come through stepping. So, let us know, man. Tell me about the outfit, what the inspo was, what you was going for. What's the vibes?
Honestly, I was lazy as hell today, so I was since last night I've been kind of lazy. So I was like, you know what? I just kind of want to be chill, but on some fly shit, and then I'm meeting my friends after this. So I was like, if I'm just be shopping and just chilling, I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going for today. Chill vibes, but still swaggy.
Yeah. I see, big.
Calm shit.
Yeah. You want to put them things on the table, boy? I'm saying that's the guy, man. That's the guy. But for sure, let's start going on, right? It's InnerChild Podcast. We always talk about, a bunch of things, childhood being the first. And you from New York, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. Tell us about that experience, right? What the family dynamic is like. Some of the things that you kind of grew up, doing and was into, and what that whole childhood experience was like out here.
Damn, what was my childhood experience like in New York? It happens. I feel like it happened so quick.
Yeah.
But I was born and raised in Queens.
Okay.
Jamaica, Queens to be
Shout out
exact.
Jamaica.
Yeah. So honestly, it was fun. Me and my friends, from young, I think I want to say around 5th, 6th grade, we wanted to go to Jamaica Avenue, and that's when skinny jeans was popping. So you get the orange skinny jeans to match your your new Nikes, and And then like you had the what are they? I don't know if they still call them the same thing, but they were like the belts with the little studs on it, and
BB
like,
belts?
huh?
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, like and like you had to like the wristbands to match.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Oh,
like,
just like the squares with the
Yeah, the
squares.
square
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it was like that type. That I grew up in like that era, like when the Jerk Boys, I don't know if that's their names or whatever, was like popping. So we would always go shopping and stuff, and that's what it was like really growing up and just being like on the internet. And that's when Soldier Boy was coming out. So now everybody wants to rock, big white t-shirts
Yeah.
and the baggy pants. Yeah, so it was fun in Queens. Like everybody hung out at the park. It was real chill. I used to get robbed a lot. Not gonna lie.
Yo.
Oh my
That's
god.
that's another experience. Yeah, I used to get my phone stolen. I used to get. That's when sidekicks was popping.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
I used to get my sidekick stolen every time. Like, and my mom had to get me a new one. And I get a new one a week later, stolen.
That's actually crazy. Like growing up in Miami, So all right, so when I was a kid in Miami, I got a confession. Like I was the one that was like low key hitting licks, right?
This guy.
Yeah, like
he was the one. He's the one you talking about.
I'm sorry, we robbed you, bro. But you feel me, like
We robbed you.
well, not we, but people.
Yeah.
Yes,
right,
yes.
right. I don't rob no more, bro. But yeah, like that experience is actually like really crazy. I remember being like a little kid, and we had like we had a hood dude on the block. His name was Perp. You know what I'm saying? And then he just used to just come around. He's like, "Hey yo, go grab that PSP for me." You feel me? And then he'll come back around, break us off and stuff like that. So that's actually crazy. Like that's crazy culture, man. But like what was it like growing up in the house, you know what I'm saying, with the family? I know you spoke of your mom and stuff like that. Like what was that experience like with the family dynamic?
It was cool. I felt like everybody's like, I think my family is a little like family oriented.
Mhm.
Like everybody interacts with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, family beefs go on and stuff, but like no matter what, we always come back around and just like you can't break that bond for real. Like
Yeah.
you could we'll curse each other out down. And then tomorrow be on the phone like, what's up? Like nothing happened. Like
Yeah.
but that's family, I feel like. Like you can't get rid of them for real.
For sure. You just gotta learn how to deal with them.
You mentioned, like some of the influences as far as like, you mentioned like the Soulja Boys and like everything in that time back then, right? What were some other like New York influences that influenced whether it was like, what you wanted to ultimately do? What did you like? Who did you look up to and inspired to be like, if you will, in the city at that time? Because I feel like New York has such a rich, culture of the things that were
Honestly,
discussed.
I don't think at that time I even know who I don't think I knew who I was at
That's
that
real.
time.
That's real.
Mm.
So I can't really say that I looked up to anybody,
Mhm.
but I can say I like to stay in tune with what was going on
Right.
at the time until like I started growing up and then, had my own money and could buy my own stuff.
Yeah.
And then I kind of like depicted on like who I kind of wanted to be or portray.
Uh-huh.
And then that's when I would say like now I'm coming into like my full self, because even now I'm like I still change up my style a little
Mhm.
bit, like from
Yeah.
where my outfits come on like I kind of choose my outfits like on my mood.
That's real. That's valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So-
today you felt like chilling, so you put on chilled sparkly.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
No, that's real. That's real. But I mean, obviously, like you're creative, right? You exist in the creative space, and that's not something that just I feel like comes like today. It's something that starts from childhood. Like you spoke about the era that you grew up in and what was popping. Could you remember like any moment specifically like in your childhood where like you just realized like, damn, like I want to exist in this creative space? And before you answer the question, the reason why like I asked you this is because like, and I talked about this on the show before, like when I was a kid, you feel me? Obviously my parents work hard. Mom and dad grew up in the house. I had a sister in the crib and everything. But we all lived in a 1-bedroom crib, you know what I'm saying? And me and my sister, like it was either me and my dad slept on the floor and my mom slept on the bed with my sister, or, my mom back started hurting, so she would sleep on the floor, and then I would sleep on the bed with my sister. So one thing we used to do when I was really young is like we used to grab these catalogs, these room to go catalogs, these best furniture catalogs, and so on and so forth. And we used to literally like draw the kind of beds and the bedrooms that we wanted. Like we used to pick the color schemes of the pillows. We used to pick the color schemes of the comforter. Like literally how we wanted everything to look. And when I think about me like trying to be as creative as I possibly could, I think about to that. I think about being a kid, right? When I ain't have much, and I just used to imagine and kind of like put shit into fruition of what I wanted it to look like when I did have opportunity to get it. So like, did you have like any triggering moments? What trigger? I don't want that to be used in a negative way, but did you have any triggering moments in your childhood that just was like, okay, I want to exist in this space?
Yes. When I used to watch not music videos, award shows.
Okay.
And those are my moments where I used to like really like be in tune and looking at what they was doing on stage, how they looked. And I used to like sketch out clothes and like if I was to dress somebody or if I was to like design something, because at the time I think I was more into like designing clothes versus styling.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't know that styling was even a thing at the time. So I used to heavy down in like wanting to design something and be a designer. And I used to be like watching TV like, damn, this is fire. Like even looking at performances, like I was like, damn, I want to work with artists like this. I want to be like a part of productions like this. So I think it really started from then, and that's when I really like kind of knew what I wanted to do. But it didn't come until like maybe I think around like 2018, 2019 that I knew like, all right, now I want to be a stylist.
Okay, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. And I remember speaking to you like, when obviously we was trying to, I was getting to know you and stuff like that. You was telling me that you went to fashion school, and am I correct?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah, for a little bit, and then you ended up like leaving and pursuing your own thing. Like, tell me about that experience that kind of like led you to going to fashion school, and then like when you got there, the decision leading up to stepping out and doing your own thing.
I feel like fashion can't be taught.
Ooh,
That's a bar right there.
drop a bar.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I kind of wasted my time here. Like I'll say this. There's a certain part of fashion that can be taught, and that's business fashion.
Right.
And of course, like what I learned at the time while I was in school, it helped me to a degree. But I don't think I needed it for what I was doing and what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Like if I want to be like, a buyer for Neiman Marcus or Saks or something, of course, like I need to finish school and, do the whole nine so that I can understand and like, be fully educated on what it is and what it takes to become a buyer. But styling, you can't tell somebody how to put a sweatsuit together or a suit together. It's like you either have it or you don't.
Right. I like that. Yeah.
What were those conversations like though? Like when you were kind of maybe in that space of, I see the value of the business side, but as far as, the actual, fashion and style, me being in school this isn't for me. Like this doesn't make sense for what I want to do. Like how did those conversations did you have with whether it was professors, whether it was with like, friends, family? Like, how did those conversations go?
Honestly, the conversation went with me, myself, and I.
That's valid.
Oh yeah,
that's valid.
Yeah.
It
That's
was
real.
just you decision.
Yeah.
That's
you
real.
Never had to talk. Okay, that's dope.
Yeah. Because the way I kind of move, I kind of feel like people shouldn't be able to tell you what you should and should not do. And like you should know for yourself what you really want to do.
Yeah.
So I didn't want anybody to have like an influence in my decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of was just like, you know what? I kind of feel like this is pointless. Don't get me wrong. Like you learn a lot about textiles, but again, as a stylist, I feel like it was already in my head. Like I kind of already knew like this textile kind of goes with this and this print matches with this print, like what you can and cannot do. And I essentially feel like, honestly, there's no good way or bad way to do fashion. It's how you interpret it. It's,
right.
Like people will be like, oh, that's not a look. That fit is not it. But that might be it to that person.
Yeah, it might be my fit. Like,
Yeah. I mean, there are some bad fits out there. Don't get me wrong, but it might be that that's how that person interprets fashion.
Yeah.
So,
So how did that fashion journey start? Like that journey of you becoming a stylist, right? Paint the picture.
I
Like you
used to
in
do-
school, you know what I'm saying? You said, all right, I'm about to get up out of here and start doing my own thing. Like, how did that start?
I used to in high school. I used to dress up like different all the time, like, and I think that's when I like basically started like experimenting and finding out things about myself and just like trying different things. Cause I'll come to school next day like blue hair, punk rock, whole punk rock outfit, Dr. Martens, tube socks showing, skinny jeans rolled up,
Yeah.
plaid shirt, like
Yeah, that's funky.
yeah, like.
That's funky, man.
One day I come with the mohawk. All of a sudden, my mohawk is like blown out, and it's like a big and like that was me.
Yeah.
So then that's when I kind of figured out like, okay, now I'm really into fashion. Like, and then people was vibing with it in school. They was like, oh shit, like he got this a new look today. Like,
Yeah.
next day I come, like hair's all different. It's curly. Like, so that's when I really fell in love with it. And I was like, nah, I think this is me. Like, I don't see myself really doing anything else. And so when I started like getting jobs and stuff, I try to get jobs in the fashion space.
Mhm.
And that's when I became a little bit more comfortable because my first job was American Apparel. And if you know American Apparel back then, it was like they hired the pretty girls, the pretty guys. It's all about looking like a model. And just knowing how to dress and knowing how to sell, because the pieces were so basic, you had to know how to sell, because that's the only way you were either making your money, like, because it was like commission based over there.
Okay.
So the pieces were like basics, leotards and blue jeans, and you really had to know how to put something together to like sell it to that client. And then you would have reoccurring clients, because at the time American Apparel was so like popular that the clients would come in every week looking for something new. So yeah, that's when it really started.
That's interesting that you so basically you took like the retail route.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Is that like a common theme in like styling or becoming a stylist or working in that fashion space? Does it always start off?
I feel like it does.
Okay.
At least for me it did. Because I went from American Apparel, then I went to Rockport, which was a store by Adidas. And that was boring to me. And I didn't want to sell nobody's shoes, and it was old people's shoes at that. Listen, I was a great salesperson, but it wasn't me. And I was like, nah, this is not me. So then I started looking for a new job. And then from Rockport, I went to Neiman Marcus.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And in Neiman Marcus, I had a client, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Susan Lucci.
I'm not. No.
She was she's a big like soap opera white lady, like huge.
Right.
And she played in All My Children and some other shows.
Okay.
But I had her as a repeat client. And then I had another lady come in, and she was like, do my bridal party. Like, and they had money.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that wedding did not happen, but the couple broke up. But I did the whole entire wedding party.
Yeah.
And they bought everything from Neiman Marcus. And from that time, like, Neiman's was like on me. They was like, oh my God, like, because that's bringing in sales essentially for the whole of Neiman Marcus. And that's when I kind of knew. I was like, okay, wait, I make people feel good when I dress them. Like, this is a whole thing. So then I started looking into Instagram and seeing how like I could make this a career.
That's
So that's why I say like it started from me in retail.
All I was gonna ask real quick though, from each of those experiences, what were some of like the key things that you learned up until you got when you got to Neiman? Like, what were some experiences or lessons that you learned from each of those experiences?
From American Apparel, it was building clientele.
Okay.
And I feel like American Apparel taught me how to keep clients, how to get my clients to come back in. And because it was commission based, Neiman Marcus was commission based as well. So it started preparing me for that moment, for when I needed to build my draw up and like, you know, hit a certain goal so that I could make my commission versus my hourly, because the hourly is always less than the commission.
Right. Makes
so that's one takeaway from American Apparel. Rockport, it was definitely, again, building clientele and retaining the clientele. Because there was older people and more basic shoes, I would say, I had to really like find something or a reason for the client to buy the shoe. So now that taught me how to bond with the client and
Yeah.
figure out like what's kind of like, okay, like what is it that's hurting you? Is it your knees? Like the
Yeah.
shoes too big?
Yeah.
Like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so then I built a bond with the Rockport clients. And then when I went to Neiman's, I was able to take everything that I learned previously. Now I'm working with high-end retail and I know how to put a fit together. So now I have the entire store where I could take my client from jackets to shirts to jeans, then we go down to shoes, then we go down to the handbags, and like if I really wanted to push it, then I take them over to fragrances, which was right next to the handbags, and we just top it all off.
Gotcha.
Yeah, get them a whole.
That's smooth.
I like that.
Mhm.
So what I'm getting is like this sense of relationship, like with this relationship building, right? You for me, like it sounds like something that not only you've learned to make it a professional thing, like within the retail space, but that got to be something that like started from like within, right? Were you always like a relationship builder, like I guess as a like as
Person,
a young bash, like yeah, was that always your thing there?
yeah, I would say so. And for me with clients, and in that time, and still now till this day, it's always relationship over money.
Mm.
And sometimes people be like, why? Like, because, and I always say because it keeps the relationship and it keeps the money coming back.
Right.
Because if I have a great relationship with my client, they're gonna keep wanting to spend with me.
Mhm.
And that's what matters the most. So like even now my clients, if I bring things to my client as a personal shopper and they don't like anything, I do not force them to get something. And I'd be like, yo, do not feel like you have to get something just because I came. Well, obviously you're gonna pay me for my time,
Mhm.
but don't feel like any of the items, if you don't like them, you
Don't get 'em.
don't get them.
Yeah.
I'm not forcing you to buy a $5,000 jacket. And that's what they like about me. Cause now when they buy that $5,000 jacket, they're gonna wear it like with love. They're not gonna wear it feeling like ugh, or then they're not just gonna put it in the closet and never wear it.
Yeah.
So
That's dope. I like that you're not forcing people because I think so many times in styling, and not that this is a bad thing, but I do find so many times in styling people are like being pushed out of their comfort zone to try new things, to try different styles, and you know. I always try to figure out, like, at least in my head, I'm always asking myself, like, how did you get this person to like do something different? I remember watching like Angel Reese's podcast with Law Roach, and then he was talking about how like he sets 3 racks of clothes, right? He brings in a whole bunch of clothes. He tell the client, all right, grab everything from this rack, put it on this rack, right? That you like, put it on this rack. What you don't like, put it on that rack. And then I'm gonna make a rack for you of things that I think look good based on what you like and what you don't like. Have you ever like had a similar strategy, or like what's your strategy when it comes to like getting a client, to I guess
build out a look.
build out a look.
Um, it's funny enough, I do use that strategy sometimes,
Okay.
but that's only with a client who knows who they are.
Mm.
So if you know who you are, and I've seen it on Instagram, like for instance, Black Sharif,
Yeah.
he knows who he is as a person and what he wants to look like. And so when I came into the room and I met him, I had 3 racks. I had a rack of like fits but the way I did it was I had a rack of fits I thought would fit him, then options for him, and then the empty rack, I said, whatever you like, you can put on this rack and we'll move from there. And that's what we did. And funny enough, he took a lot of the stuff that I put full fits for him, and he just took those and put it on the rack that he liked.
That's dope. That's dope.
With clients that don't really know, who they are, don't really know their style, how hard can that be at times if, you feel like, this either you feel like, you don't really know where to start, if that's ever been an experience for you, or, you're picking out these different fits and they just aren't rocking with anything that you're selecting. Like, how is that like for you?
So if a client doesn't really know themselves, I just come in strong and I come in confident.
Okay.
Because what I've learned from experience is that if you come in and you're second guessing yourself and you're kind of yes manning the client, they're going to see that and they're not going to believe in you for the next gig.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna want to like, you know, call you back for that one because they'll be like, oh, he was a little unsure. He didn't know if he wanted to put me in this or not. And I hate when a client starts asking their like anybody in the room or their assistant, like, yo, you think you this look good? Like, so I make my prerogative that you do not do that. So I'll come in and I just be like, nah, I think this is gonna look good on you. This is gonna look good on you. Put this on. And it's just like, because of the way I'm saying it and because I know like what I want that client to look like, when they do put it on, they feel good in it.
Yeah.
So I don't get like too much pushback on that end because you already don't know who you are. So
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So like when did this shit start catapulting for you, right? Because you talked about your retail experience and having clients reoccurring, but when did it start like catapulting where you just was like, all right, I could get up out of the retail because I got this now?
when I started working for Zoe Costello as an assistant, shout out to Marissa Pelly who helped me with that. She styles a lot of people now, but at the time I was working with Zoe Costello for the Migos when Migos was a group. And so that's when I was really like, okay, I'm gonna leave that and come to this. And I'm gonna take the leap of faith.
That's tough. How did that plug get set up? I ain't trying to have you, spill all the beans, but how that plug get set up?
Instagram.
Yeah.
Wow.
The power of the
social
gram.
media.
Yeah.
Dang.
Because from Neiman Marcus, that's around the same time, I started looking up people and saying like, okay, styling is a thing. Now I just got to find the stylist. So then I started looking up people and who's styling who. And when I did that, Marissa Pelly came up and she had an Instagram post up that said looking for interns in NYC. If you drive, that's a plus. And I was like, oh, I drive. So hit her up. She hit me back and she was like, can you come in tomorrow? Can you da-da-da? And I was like, yeah, actually, yes, I can.
Yeah.
And so we met up. They loved my energy. They loved the way I was like eager to work and just learn. And it was up from there.
But how was that? Obviously, like you already were, thinking about like, I want to put myself in a space with, well-known stylists to get to where I ultimately want to go. But once you got that call, how was it to take that leap to, you've been consistently doing something at Neiman for some time now. And how was that to take that jump?
It was easy as hell, honestly.
Okay.
Because I knew the space that I wanted to be in.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be at Neiman's forever. So I was like, if I want to be in the space where like, back to the productions that I wanted to work with and doing music videos and award shows, being at Neiman's forever wasn't going to get me there.
Yeah.
Like, it probably would have got me somewhere else, but that would have been more corporate.
For sure.
But I knew where I wanted to be, so it was like, that was the easy decision for me.
Yeah.
I do want to get into this client list, right? Because I named a bunch of clients, you know what I'm saying? And there's so many clients that I missed.
Some
right?
I hate.
Some you hate?
Yeah.
We'll get into that, man. But nah, like, I definitely want to talk about the Claremont twins, right? Hi, Claremont twins. It's your boy OD. If you know Bash, you know me. He a drip, I'm a dripper. That's like my partner. So we really cool for real, right? But nah, with the Claremont twins, you styled them, I mean, a plethora of times at this point. Like, it's almost every outing, that's you. You know what I'm saying? That's you putting them in some drip, man. How did you form that relationship with them? And like, how has that relationship catapulted you into like other spaces?
Let's start with where I met them.
Yeah.
It was Offset's birthday party in LA. I think that was like in October or December, whenever his birthday was. And I remember seeing them, and that was the first time I actually heard about them because I've never I never watched their season of Bad Girls Club, nothing. So that was the first time, and I was with this publicist, and I said, "Who are those two girls? Like, they look like twins," because I seen them from afar, and they had the same like identical outfits on. So then I was like, "Are those are twins?" And she's like, "Yeah, those are Claremont twins." And I was like, I kind of like what they got going on over there, like the way they had their outfits all set up or whatever. So then I was like, I want to work with them. And she was like, you do? And I was like, yeah, set it up. And then Fashion Week came around. I think it had to be around like a December, because I remember February came around and that's when we started working together. And that's when it was like I had to prove to a client, like that was my first time having to prove to a client because I wanted to retain them for myself.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I gotta bring everything that I can because I've never dressed them before.
Mhm.
So this is my first time, and honestly, I did. I brought everything that was fire at the time, knocked it out of the park, and then from there they just kept booking me.
Yeah, nah, I be seeing, bro. You be hopping out the truck with them. They taking pictures. I'm seeing you fixing the dress. I'm like, damn, my boy really killing it, man. That's dope.
And I feel like that started from like the very beginning of the friendship or the relationship, I should
Yeah.
say. Yeah. So from that first day that we shot, because it was like when we shot, it was in a hotel. We were just shooting just to shoot. They got a photographer, and I just brought looks, and they were like, okay, we're just gonna have fun with it. Like, let's see what we could do. And we was running down up and down the hallways. We was taking shots. Like I had them in cowboy boots with dresses. It was just a vibe. And from then there was like, okay, yeah, like this is we could do something with this.
How important is it when you're meeting new potential clients for the first time and bringing like good energy and then also being your true authentic self? Like, how does that come out, and how important is for them to also trust you in the process as they're meeting you for the first time?
And before you answer that, do you be nervous at any time? Like, damn, I can't. Let me not fuck this.
I'd be nervous before.
Okay.
Before I get in the room, I'd be nervous as hell. Like I start feeling like my stomach start hurting.
That's what I'm saying.
I start having to use the bathroom. Then I gotta pee. Now I'm thirsty. I'd be like, oh my God. So there's like this roller coaster of emotions that I go through. And then when I walk into that room, it's kind of like I'm a performer myself.
Game time.
So now it's like, yeah, game time. Like you got to put that face on. Nothing, like you got to block out the world. Like if you having a bad day, whatever it is, like flat tire on the way here, like put it behind me.
Yeah.
Like, and one thing I took from like American Apparel was my manager used to be like, listen, I don't care what you guys got going on outside of this door, but when y'all walk in, leave all your problems on the other side. And I think that's something that really, really helped me like throughout my career and throughout life, because imagine me walking into a room with an attitude just because I got a flat tire on the way there and they ain't do nothing to me. And now they're sensing that energy. And because I want them to book me again, and I know like I'm an entrepreneur, I'm self-employed.
Yeah, it's a business.
That's my business. So I have to. Like, yeah, American Apparel, I could have walked in with an attitude because again, it's not my business. I mean, it is my paycheck.
Yeah.
But because I cared about my paycheck, I wasn't going to. So I do the same thing for my business now.
Valid.
That's dope. That's dope. On top of that, too, like.
But wait, there's another question that you asked me before.
Oh, I mean, you kind of answered. I was kind of just saying, like, how important it is for you to bring, good energy when you're meeting a prospective client when you first, meet them, because it's important for them to kind of like buy into you and trust you. So you kind of touched it as well. So you're good.
That's real. And you also, you worked with Lola Brooke. You know what I'm saying? And then it came at a really great time because, when Shorty came out with that, don't play with it, don't play. You know what I'm saying? When she came out with that, like, it was you. Like, you was putting her in all that. Like, any performance, any red carpet appearance, award show, like, music video, like, you name it. Like, it was styled by Visionary Bash. Like, you know what I'm saying? How did that relationship come through?
Honestly, so Lola DM'd me.
Word.
Fire.
And she DM'd me on behalf, like her manager. She saw my work before, but her manager really put her on. And she was like, they were looking for a stylist at the time, and they were like going through like, a bunch of people. They worked with one stylist, didn't work out, and then I was like the next one, and they called me. She DM'd me. She was like, hey, like, you have time to hop on a call? And I was like, yeah, sure. Then we hopped on a call. We was on the phone for like, I think like 2 hours.
Man.
Just chatting. Yeah. And then I asked her about her name. I said, Lola, where does your name come from? And then I was like, is Brooke for Brooklyn? And she's like, wow, you really the first person that really kind of like understood like the nickname. And then I kind of got the Lola from, I forgot what I had told her. But I I I described the Lola part, and she was like, "Yeah, like how did you even figure that out?" I was
Oh,
like,
y'all was in sync.
we was in sync at the time, and I was like, I don't know, I just kind of thought of it. It just came to mind, and she was
Yeah.
like, yeah. So then from there, we hopped on another call with her entire team, and then we just went on a full blown run.
Tough.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Any styling experiences that you remember, not just between, the twins and Lola Brooke, but like any styling experience you remember that, I guess was probably one of the most enjoyable experiences you ever had to this date, of course, because you still going strong.
That's really hard to say, because I think I have a lot,
Yeah.
like different ones for different reasons. Like, let's for instance, I would say like Lola being on a full blown run and just like international tours, and that's like a whole different experience. That's like, because that was my first client that I did international tours with.
Mm.
So that's an enjoyable experience for just that reason.
And not that I want to be messy, but
I was gonna
like,
go there next.
yeah, like not that I want to be messy, but you did text me. You was like, "Don't hold back, don't hold back."
What's the
OD.
question?
Like, what's an experience that you didn't fuck with at all? Like, and you don't got a name drop, but like, what's an experience like you didn't fuck with at all?
I don't enjoy when clients want to look like Beyonce, but don't got Beyonce money.
Okay.
He looked
Okay.
at the, he looked
Yeah.
at the camera.
I had to let you guys know that one.
Right.
Don't ask for like, oh, I wanna wear Rick Owens, but you don't got Rick Owen dollars.
Because that rate for real, huh?
And then like hiring a stylist is a luxury.
Right.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's not
Mandatory.
like it's not mandatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I feel like you have to know your pockets, and this goes for like regular people as well. And I wouldn't say like regular people, but like people who want a personal shopper, and it's like, oh, like I'm gonna say like you make between 30 and 60,000 a year. You don't need a personal shopper. You don't need a stylist, like because when the rates come, you guys are gonna complain about it. To be
Yeah.
honest, and there's celebrities out here that have like complained about rates as well. I'm not gonna name drop, but
Yeah.
like, why are you asking for something that costs? Because it's like if you're a basketball player, a football player, a rapper, whatever you are, you wouldn't like if somebody came to you and was downplaying your rates.
Right.
Facts. That's real.
Like, imagine you
Good.
going into the studio to record and they invite you and then they're like, oh, well, yeah, we only got like 10 bands for you. And your worth is like starting at 60 bands.
Mhm.
You're
Yeah.
gonna feel disrespected.
Pay me my rate. You know what I'm saying?
Pay the rate, or at least like you gotta meet in the middle somewhere.
Do those conversations though, that when you're saying that, does that happen like before when it's like a consultation, or is it
Yeah.
after the fact? Okay.
No, it
Okay,
happens
okay.
during the consultation.
Okay, I was about to say.
Because mm-mm.
But now, have you ever had a discrepancy where you agree to a certain rate, cool, then you get going, and because maybe they didn't like what you pieced together for them or your services, that they didn't want to pay that rate and they wanted to undercut you? Have you ever had a situation like that?
No.
Okay, all
I
right.
haven't. I will say people add on to while the services are going,
more
and they add
things
more things,
Yeah.
and then they think that the services
are the same.
are the same. The rate's gonna stay the same. Like, no, the rate's actually gonna increase because you have me doing more work now,
Right.
and they don't like that.
Yeah, because yesterday's price, not today's price.
Like, you can't think that you're gonna add 5 more looks and then I'm gonna keep the same rate. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Over time, like, how have you learned? Like, did you just naturally learn how to like set a rate when you first started, and then like steadily increase it? Like, did you learn that yourself, or did you kind of like maybe have other people who kind of taught you the game of that business side of it?
I did learn it myself, but I did ask questions at the same time.
Yeah.
I asked questions to people like Marissa, who helped me. I have a friend, Damien. I asked him. when was like the appropriate time. And when I was starting out, I asked them like, but these were people that like I interned for.
Right,
Like,
right,
so
right.
I confided in these people. Like,
Sure.
I didn't feel uncomfortable. It wasn't like, just going to like a random friend and asking them, or like a random stylist and just being like, hey, so, what's a good rate? Like, because I feel like that's a touchy subject, and I don't like when it's done to me. If we don't have that relationship, then we shouldn't be discussing those rates. Not to say that I'm trying to gatekeep certain things, or like, you know what I'm saying, but that's a very touchy subject.
Yeah.
So
You talking money, hell
you
yeah.
talking money. So
Yeah.
I had like, for instance, and I only say that to say because I had somebody who said like they were just starting out styling, and they were like, "Oh, what's your rate? Because I want to charge what you charge." And I was like, "Well, I've been doing this for like a few years now, so
Yeah. It's
my
different.
rate." And I put in, before I even started doing this on my own, I had to intern and assist for
For
free.
free. Yep.
So I paid my dues to be getting paid what I get paid now, and even now I feel like the price should be way higher than what it is.
Mhm.
But obviously you got to kind of work with people and their time. But and I feel like people pay for name. Like, people will pay a lot just for his name versus, paying a badge just because you're talented.
Right.
So
That's a double-edged sword right there, though. I feel like
Yeah.
on one hand, somebody may have like a name or a face, but you put in that time, that work, and you're really good at what the heck you do, right?
Right,
So
exactly.
yeah, that's a double-edged sword right there.
For sure. You ever had, I guess, like any experiences as a stylist that you may have like fucked up on, but it taught you like a really hard lesson that kind of like catapulted you to kind of like keep growing your business in the right direction?
Yeah. I mean, I think I messed up a few times,
Yeah.
but nothing for like on the client's end. I would say more on my end, like maybe not charging what I should have charged, or like downplaying myself, because that's a big one.
Yeah.
Because you go into certain projects and certain things, and you think that like, okay, maybe A, you're not ready for it. B, maybe you shouldn't be charging the price that you're charging. And sometimes people have a certain conversation with you, and it makes you think like, oh, maybe I am charging a little too much. But no, you're not. Like, that's what you believe that's your worth, and that's what you're worth.
That's valid.
Yeah, for sure. So as far as being a stylist, would you agree that and I don't know, right? Because just to share a little bit, like in terms of that interning experience, like, and I don't talk to you about this on the side. Like, I just started like doing intern work in the whole stylist world. Got an NDA sign, can't talk too much about it, but it's I'll tell you off air. But I just started doing some stuff as an intern and stuff like that, and people don't realize, like, yeah, like as an intern, sometimes you're not gonna get a check, and then I'm like, at my big ass age, like I'm working hard to
Yes,
build
somebody else's.
Yeah, to like obtain a goal, but like that grind is real. Like I'm not really getting paid. Like what was that feeling like going through those times as an intern and knowing it was no money coming in, but you just getting game?
Sucked ass. And I think, for me, I'm actually as a CEO now, as a boss, as someone who hires assistants and interns, I pay all my interns and assistants for their time, whether that be in travel, food, like just, hey, here's a day rate of X amount. Like, I can honestly say no one has ever worked for me for free.
Yeah.
Like, because I knew how I felt when I was an intern. That did not feel good. Like, everyone has bills. Like, I may not talk to you about it as my boss, but how you think I got here today?
Right.
Whether it be the train or Uber, I drove, like, I paid for parking to park my car somewhere. Like, and that was another thing. While I was interning, a lot of people had me using my car, but they did not want to pay for the car services. Like, where do you think I parked the car at? On top of my head and walk into the hotel? Like, I'm sorry. The car had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, oh, can you be here at 7 a.m.? And, I was taking, won't name the stylist that never paid me for all the Easy Pass fucking toes that she made me go through.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but she really had me going through easy like toes after toe after toe, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna pay you when I get
Never
paid."
paid you.
And she never paid. As a matter of fact, she blocked me,
That's crazy.
Oh, word.
and I'm like,
Crazy.
"That's nuts!" Like to treat somebody like that, there's a good place in hell for you. Like, yeah. So no, it doesn't feel good. So I don't do it to anybody. And I really in this day and age, I think everybody is making some type of money. Like I'm not gonna say stylists aren't like making money. Like some of us may not be making a lot of money,
Right.
but we're making something, and it's only right to help out the people that helped you, because without your team, you can't fulfill the entire job sometimes.
Yeah.
I really respect that though. Like you took a situation like from your past experience as an intern, said, okay, this is, although I may have gained like some, knowledge, some game, some wisdom, the side that I didn't like, I'm going to change that when I become my own boss and I have my own company. I have, interns under me. I just think that's important because I feel like sometimes, well, we can have the mentality of I'll do what was done to me, right? But I feel like you shifted like that narrative and that culture. So mad respect to you. And I didn't know that, you had interns working under you. So how has that been for you? And what is kind of like the game and wisdom that you give them to make them be the best version of themselves?
I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's a nightmare.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I think the new generation doesn't have drive. They feel like everything should just be given to them. And for me, I had to work my ass off.
Yeah.
So we don't come from the same cloth.
Yeah.
Like you had me waking up at 6 a.m. to be somewhere by 8. You had me waking up at 5 a.m. to be in Jersey by 9 a.m. And that was a 2-hour drive because, when everybody's driving from Queens to Jersey in the morning,
Boy, a traffic twin.
like it's bad. And
Yeah.
you just be sitting in one spot for 30, 40 minutes, like before it moves. And at the time, like obviously interning, like them NDAs, I think my NDAs are
Done.
they're done.
Yeah.
Because I think I signed up for 5 years and it's been.
Mm.
So as a ghost stylist at the time, like I'm styling for these big stylists that have these big clients, and they're in their bed sleep in LA, but I'm on the road, like going to the stylist, like to the client's house to get them dressed for whatever interview it is that they have. And, and that's how I really learned how to really like take care of a client, was those stylists gave me their clients like fully trusting me, like that I can put together an outfit, I can take care of the client and make them feel like, as if the person who they really hired was not missing. So
And wait, one question, because I have like no like knowledge of the industry, but you're saying that like the stylist will be in a completely different space, a state,
yeah.
but you're still responsible for as an intern making sure that they are taken care of.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And nowadays I can't trust my interns with my clients.
Wow. Okay.
Like I be on FaceTime. Like if I can't make it there personally,
Yeah.
I'm on FaceTime. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like keep me in the loop. Like I want to see what's going on. Because nowadays a lot of the interns, like they want to do something, but they don't know how to problem solve.
Right.
Like how you don't know how to like basic thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe the pants is a little too long still after we got it tailored, but you don't know how to like just pin it up and just press it down real quick.
Yeah.
Like those are things that I was able to do as an intern.
And I don't know if I had said it earlier, but I mean, you just like any field, right? You got a lot of people that's always trying to hop in these spaces. You know what I'm saying?
You got to weed out the clout chasers.
Yeah. So like, yeah. With that being
Hard
said,
work,
like,
yeah.
how are you able to like, kind of like stay relevant in your business and like keep shit going?
Honestly, I just keep posting my work.
Right.
Yeah. I stopped that for a minute now. I haven't been posting my work, and that's something that like a client hired me recently, and he said, I'm a little scared because I don't know if you can accomplish the look that I'm trying to go for because I don't really see you post your work anymore. And I said, well, I don't feel like it was necessary to post my work. Like I had a lot of work that I've already posted on my page, but at the same time, there's a thing where like a lot of successful stylists. I see like, let's for instance, Kim Kardashian's stylist. Before she went viral, she had 3,000 followers and like 2 pictures up.
Mm.
But she has successful clients. So I was like, I don't think that it's like, I don't think Instagram should be the place where it's like that it deems you successful or not. It's like you could kind of look at previous work and be like, oh, you know what? Based off the way this person dresses himself or the previous work that he's done, I see that they're like fit for the job.
Mm-hmm.
So like, as we like obviously starting to wrap up and stuff like that, we get into certain, questions. What you got next in store? You feel me? What you got going on is 2025, you know what I'm saying? It's 2025 Visionary Bash in the building now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that looking like for you this year?
Honestly, I don't know. I kind of roll with the punches.
You going to Paris, right? I remember
Well, yeah, Paris is up in a few weeks.
You a
well,
flex,
2
ain't
weeks.
you a flex, bro. I'll tell you.
And then that's it for me. Honestly, after that, I mean, I have a photo shoot in like 3 days. Lola has an interview that I'm styling her for. I mean, yeah, I gotta just roll with the punches because I don't even. The year just started, so
Yeah.
I gotta kind of give it time to like by February it should be.
Do you naturally have like a calendar, a thing set out, or is it just one of them kind of things where it's just like after you done with the next project, you feel me? The business is just that good that somebody can get in contact with you and then you could just put something else on the booking and then keep it going.
Yes and no.
Okay.
It can, like, there are times where it's like a little slow, but there are times where it's like, back to back and like bookings coming after that. I love it when it's like that.
Yeah.
But hopefully that we have that type of year this year, honestly. But there's no way to say yet. So far, we're booked for January, and hopefully the next project just falls right in.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What's one of the things you feel like sometimes creatives miss in the process of, I guess, like owning their own business or like just existing in this space in general? Like, what's one thing you feel like creatives miss that they should do a better job? Or at least what's one thing you figured that you had to learn throughout your process?
Giving yourself grace.
Mm.
And just saying like, you know what? I used to be at this point A, now I'm at B.
Yeah.
Like, like you're not the same person you were like a year ago. You've grown and you've done a lot, and you just got to give yourself grace and pat yourself on the back.
When you look back at your life to this point, right? You look back to those days in Queens where, you was getting the matching belts with the wristbands too. You was growing up looking at the award shows, styling different people and writing it down, right? That was part of your inner child. So what is your advice for other people and how they should embrace their inner child with oneself?
Go after your dreams. Just do it. Don't think about it.
Yeah.
Like, if it's something that you've truly wanted to do or, you see yourself doing, just do it. Don't hold back. Because I want to say, like, I held back until, like, I really felt, like, ready, I guess. But I think I would have been further if I didn't hold back. So I would say don't hold back.
For sure, for sure. Bash, tell everybody what your social handles are. We're going to have it at the top of the episode and at the end. But, just for reference, go ahead, promote the business. Let everybody know what you got going on.
It's Visionary Bash on everything. And you gotta just follow me and keep in tune, because I don't know what the year has to come.
Yeah, man, you got that website too, man.
I do have a website. That's www.sebastianday.com.
For sure, man. Y'all be sure to give my boy Sebastien a follow. Holla at his website. You feel me? He got a lot of his work posted on there. You get an opportunity to not only just see, his creativeness, but, be inspired, bro, by a real dripper, man. But Sebastien, bro, you feel me? That's going to close it up for us, man. I really appreciate you.
Facts.
You feel me? Hopping on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Nah, for sure. Look, busy dude, you know what I'm saying? You really growing in this space. You've been killing it. The 3 years I've been kind of getting to know you, bruh. Like, you got some drip, kid.
Thank you. I appreciate you a lot. And listen, y'all y'all got me out the house real early. I woke up at like 8:30 and I was like, I should cancel this thing. I was like, nah.
I'm happy you did. I'm happy you did, man. We appreciate that.
Nah,
man.
I needed that. I needed to push myself because this year we said, I'm not going to be lazy.
Right.
I'm going to get out early.
Right.
You know, I'm going to start the day earlier. So now look at this.
Shit.
Sure.
You feel
I'm
me?
outside early today.
Well, sun ain't really out. It's snowing, but you got the snow boots, so you feel me? We good.
Exactly.
We good, man. That's gonna wrap it up for the InnerChild Podcast today. Be sure to follow us on all platforms at official InnerChild. Once again, it's at official InnerChild. My name's OD. That's JB. We got my boy Visionary Bash in the building. Until next time, never forget to embrace your inner child. Peace out.